Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, and I'm rocking with y'all, and y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're going to be speaking on YSL member Yak Gotti snitching and getting his homie hit with the Rico. Demonte Kendricks, who's more commonly known as the rapper Yak Gotti, has been named as a member of the Atlanta-based YSL criminal street gang and was one of 28 men indicted under Georgia's Rico Act. Yak was hit with one count of violating the Rico Act and one count of murder, as he now stands accused of being one of 5 men who committed a drive-by back in January of 2015.
Search is on for the person who shot 3 people, including a 14-year-old. One man died.
Neighbors in Atlanta's Castleberry Hill neighborhood heard the gunfire around 7:30 Saturday night. Sugar Thomas was in her house. Her uncle sometimes hangs out on McDaniel Street.
So I came out there running to make sure that he went out there.
She saw 3 young men on the ground. Atlanta police say a teenager and a man in his 20s were both shot in the leg. The third, 26-year-old Donovan Thomas, was critical.
The triple shooting took the life of 26-year-old Donovan Thomas, who is more commonly known throughout Atlanta as Big Nut, a close associate of rival rapper YFN Lucci. Georgia's district attorney would state this murder caused a wave of retaliation that plagued Atlanta, making this murder one of the main events leading to the indictment. Within count 1 of the indictment, a picture posted to Yak Gotti's Instagram shows him standing on YFN Lucci's Mercedes. Yak Gotti's photo is now being used against him as an overt act in furtherance of a criminal street gang, meaning he did it to instill fear into his ops and show YSL doesn't give a fuck. June 2nd, 2022, Yak Gotti was present in Fulton County Superior Court via a Zoom call where the judge labeled him a threat to witnesses, a flight risk, and likely to commit other crimes.
Counsel, based upon the proffers that have been made at this point in time, I do believe that Mr. Kendrick is a threat to witnesses and likely to commit other crimes and risk of flight. For those reasons, I'm going to deny bond at this point in time.
Various posts began making their way to social media with claims that Yak Gotti was snitching after a statement from a previous case was found, in which it was alleged he snitched on fellow YSL member Lil Duke, who's also been indicted. Screenshots posted to Instagram would show an appeal filed on behalf of Demonte Kendricks, aka Yak Gotti. He was appealing his 57-month federal prison sentence after pleading guilty to being a felon in possession of a firearm. The appeal states Yak Gotti argued his sentencing was unreasonable, stating the amount of time should have been less and to take into account his honesty with police when being questioned. Back in October of 2015, Yak Gotti and YSL member Lil Duke were riding in a vehicle when police attempted a traffic stop. Yak fled, engaging in a short high-speed chase that ended after Yak ran a stop sign, lost control of the vehicle, and hit a guardrail. Both men were apprehended by police after attempting to run from the wreck. A search of the vehicle produced a cell phone, a small amount of marijuana, a loaded pistol, and a rifle, both of which were reported stolen. The appeal states in subsequent interviews with police, Yak Gotti admitted that he owned the rifle and lent it to Duke, who planned to use it that night to retaliate against a rival gang who beat him up. Yak also told police that the pistol was his and described an unrelated incident involving the firearm. Both Yak and Duke would be charged in state court, and Yak's case would be picked up by the feds. Yak would attempt to suppress the statements he made to police in court, but failed, leading to him taking the plea deal and a federal prison sentence. So Yak Gotti appealed his case, revealing he made statements to police and felt he deserved a lesser sentence for his honesty and voluntarily waiving his rights to an attorney so he could speak with police. But the appeal isn't the only paperwork against Yak Gotti that's publicly available online. A judge's order would detail Yak Gotti possessed a Romam Cougar 7.62 rifle and a .40 Smith & Wesson. On October 6, while inside of the Fulton County Jail, Yak Gotti was transported to the Atlanta Police Department, where he was interviewed by a homicide detective and 2 members of the gang unit. The interview was both audio and video recorded. Yak never mentioned his lawyer and signed his Miranda rights, agreeing to be questioned about a murder that took place outside of a nightclub in 2015. Yak Gotti was provided food and a drink, and 2.5 hours into the interview stated he wanted his lawyer and didn't want to talk anymore. Yak was escorted to smoke a cigarette, where he said he was willing to talk to Detective Thorpe as long as Detective Golphin wasn't present. The detective led Yak back into the interview room and provided him with a fast food sandwich because he'd missed lunch at the jail. The interview continued until the detective had no further questions. 6 days later, Yak Gotti was transported back for another interview where he was provided with food again, and during this questioning, Yak Gotti was told if he cooperated, the detectives would see what they could do to help him out. The interview lasted 2.5 hours, and in both interviews, Yak Gotti made admissions about the firearms. Now, the judge's order would also reveal the warrant to search Yak Gotti's cell phone. The warrant states on January 10th, 2015, Donovan Peanut Thomas was killed in a drive-by shooting. Peanut was a high-ranking Inglewood family blood gang member, and his death grew suspicion that he was killed by a rival blood set, YSL, and 38 incidents of retaliation would follow, with YSL and Inglewood family shooting at each other, at family homes, and anyone that was associated with either gang. In September, a drive-by shooting occurred, and it's suspected that Inglewood family opened fire on YSL member Shannon Jackson, who goes by the name SB.
A young mother murdered. She was just driving her car when somebody opened fire. It happened near Turner Field in southeast Atlanta. Someone in another car started shooting and killed Tiara Bogan Jones.
SB was inside of a vehicle being driven by 25-year-old Tiara Jones when another vehicle pulled up alongside and opened fire, shooting her through the face, which caused her to crash and the vehicle to flip 4 to 5 times. She died at the scene, and another passenger in the vehicle suffered a crushed leg, requiring amputation. SB suffered a collapsed lung and broken ribs, with this attempt on his life being listed as the 3rd in the last few weeks. SB is one of the 5 men now charged in the indictment with murdering Peanut. The warrant would continue detailing Yak and Duke's arrest and the weapons recovered matching the weapons used in retaliatory shootings. The area in which police attempted to conduct the traffic stop was also a known Inglewood family area, and it's believed the two were out for revenge for the shooting that killed Tiara Jones and almost killed SB. Fast forward, and Yak Gotti would respond to the rumors of him snitching through an Instagram post saying, "2015, my brother never did a day in jail because I claimed my shit. I did 4 years fed with no tears. Stop the cap." What's interesting about what he's saying is it may be true, but he also doesn't deny giving statements to police that could have been used against Duke, such as Duke was going to use the rifle to shoot a rival. After this video, it will also be known he gave a 4-hour interview to investigators and then another 2.5-hour interview, and while we don't know what exactly was said, a rapper/gang member should never be giving police interviews, statements, and it's even worse when it says the detectives gave you food, drinks, and cigarettes. But while initially what Yak told detectives didn't affect Lil Duke, those statements are now being used against Lil Duke to charge him with violating the Rico Act. According to the indictment, both Lil Duke and Yak Gotti committed the felony offense of conspiracy to commit murder by driving through rival gang territory with intent to cause death while possessing an AK-47 and .40 caliber handgun. The only way law enforcement knows they intended to cause death was by the statement given by Yak Gotti, where he stated he armed Duke with a rifle to use against rivals. Other acts that violated the Rico Act include theft by receiving stolen property, which were the firearms, and participating in gang activity, which are both being used against Duke. At the end of the day, statements given by Yak Gotti 8 years ago are now coming to light, and it doesn't look like Yak Gotti will be able to take the time for Duke. Now this is pretty clear cut, and it kills any rumors that may have been circulating, because all types of people are saying Yak Gotti is not snitching in this case, Yak Gotti is not snitching on YSL. That's true. Nothing is saying that he is. There's nothing that's come out that said he said anything about Young Thug or anything having to do with this indictment. In fact, these statements are from 2015. And initially, they weren't used against Duke. Yak Gotti said both of these guns are mine, whatever. Both of them got charges from the case on a state level. They fled the scene, they ran from the police, they had 2 guns, a little bit of marijuana. But Yak addressed it saying his bro never did a day in jail. He did 4 years in the feds because he was a felon in possession of guns, right? But now, because of the fact that he gave a statement, the statement being, I gave Duke a rifle and he was gonna use it against a rival that beat him up, that statement has been used against Duke to hit him with violating the Georgia Rico, saying that they were in gang territory looking for rivals, and it was retaliation for their homie that almost got killed. The police themselves could have put it together that they were in rival territory. They could have put it together that there's been a feud between YSL and the other motherfuckers, Inglewood family. But at the end of the day, you're riding around with guns. How would they know your intentions other than the statement? You literally gave them the statement that says, I gave him a gun so he could shoot a rival. Now they're using it against him. They're also using the guns against him. And they're also using y'all two driving around together as participating in gang activity. So no, Yak Gotti is not snitching on the YSL case, but statements he gave have been used to indict Duke. Paperwork is in this video. There's not much to fucking argue about, so don't DM me with the bullshit. If you don't like it and you can get the court sites to take down the paperwork, I'll take down the video. It's as simple as that. But I mean, this is literally public shit. All you have to type in is the United States versus whatever the fuck his name is, DeMonte Kendricks, and all of these links will pop up. And the most fucked up part about it is none of these links would be available if he never appealed his case. See, when you appeal something, when you say, oh, this isn't right, this isn't this isn't that, I shouldn't have this much time, you should let me out, they bring up all the facts in the case that's going to be inside of the appeal. Had he never appealed it, nobody would ever know what he did. But hey, it's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all, and y'all rocking with me. Till next time.